Hello everybody, Mr. McSquare here with my good friend Cuck Ross. Different video from what I normally do, because this week I challenged Mr. Cuck Ross. And underneath the ground here, we just generated a new world, and we're going to build two armies to face off against each other. Chuck's army versus my army. And for themes, Chuck has picked pillagers in the ancient city, and I picked piglins in the Nether. So we just created a new creative world just with the sole intention of doing this, and then checking out the terrain and defining the rules that we're going to play by. Chuck can build whatever he wants, and his theme is pillagers and the Undercity, or ancient city I should say, or what's left of it. Anyway, so we will confine ourselves to a 120 by 120 cube, and put whatever forces you want in there, and just try to keep it on theme with, for him, pillagers and the ancient city, and for me, piglins and the Nether. So we just built the maximum size portal, and on each side of the portal is where we will amass whatever our forces are. On day one, I figured we'll spruce up the portal, give it a little bit of flair, and I had to carve out the space that I'm going to build in. So day one was just getting rid of netherrack blocks, just carving it out, plugging up any of the lava spouts that appear out of little pockets. And you can see the flat lines here. That's the limit of the 120 by 120 box, which is roughly 60 from each side of the portal. And of course it goes back 120, which would be this point here. It took me a full day just to clear all this out in creative mode. Get rid of the blocks that were here. And of course, that is just an observer line. You'll commonly see it on things like lighthouses and such. And we just make two lines. I apologize for the choppiness. That's a result of recording. Causes just a tiny bit of lag. And it's just two observer lines, one going clockwise, the other one counterclockwise. And they will send a pulse out. The second line of observers, that every time the pulse goes by, it'll send a redstone signal to the vault that's in the frame itself. Super simple, but it gives it a nice effect. Now keep in mind, I have no idea what Chuck is going to build on the other side. So totally ignoring that, and ignoring the fact that, well, I know it's an ancient city, but we're going to ignore that and just build a piglin force that wants to go anywhere. So with the portal restriction, I made a big old general boss right in the middle, riding a giant snake. And yeah. That's it. This was all done in one day, about 8 hours, to clear out all the brick and to come up with building this giant guy in the middle, riding a giant snake. That'll be my Orcus Maximus, Master of Chaos, with his big old netherite axe. And of course he likes gold, so he's got gold highlights in his outfit. The snake, I don't know where he got it from, no idea, but definitely got his money's worth. This thing is just havoc waiting to happen. And of course I cheated by putting them in the lava. I didn't have to worry about building the whole underside the whole way, but visually you get the point. We got a giant cyclops piglin monster riding a frickin' snake in the nether, coming through to cause damage. Then on day two, I really leaned into the Soul Sand Valley aspect of the Nether. So swap out all the blocks on this side for Soul Sand on the foot. And then no mods were used, it's all done by hand. And then I built a bunch of giant skeletons. Because my concept was, I'm going to use spawners. But I have to get the spawners for the battlefield. So I put the spawners inside of giant mobile statues. So if the statue marches over, you can bring just an endless stream of troops with them. And then we got 2 giant archers, and I thought, oh, it's overpowered if I just make giant archers everywhere. Plus, how much space is there going to be? So I made some downsized guys, and of course a wither variant of the skeleton spawn. So he's got the giant sword. I don't know, he's black. His wither skeletons are black. And he's popping out where he's going. They all have a banner to mark what side that they're with. They all kind of bad intention for whatever's on the other side of that fort. You'll notice I've got the spawners down on chains, so that when they pop out, they don't have far to fall. It'd be stupid to have a spawner 20 feet in the air, and then your mobs die as soon as they hit the ground. So they're on little chains to get them close to the ground. The guys inside the chest, when they spawn, they hit a little bit of a ledge where the giant skeleton's hips are, and then they pop down. The inspiration for using spawners was the magma cube spawner that you'll find in a Piglin fortress. Thought that, okay, that's an idea for an endless army supply of problems. So that's a magma cube spawner being hauled in by giant skeleton scorpions. They don't need swords, they got their big old pincer claws. And then up top, I started building ghasts. Or at least gas skulls. And inside each gas skull is a blaze spawner. Because they're Air Force, and blazes fly. And anyone that's ever been in a Nether fortress knows those things are a pain in the butt. Later on I'm going to have to add their shoot and melt aspect. I'm going to have to capture that somehow. But that was what I built on day 2. Day 1 we had the big old orc in the portal and cleared out the space. Day 2 we built the skeleton side. And really, once you build one, copying it's no problem. The trick is to have the variety. Okay, day 3. Day 3 we added piglins. Can't have Nether without piglins. So, we're also going to use the Nether itself to be employed here. So we've got lava golems. Lava golems. Smash them with one bucket of water, and I think these lava golems are done. But anything other than that, I don't think you can do physical damage to them or anything. It's living lava coming at you. Just suck this. Set fire to everything. And of course, they've got blaze spawners in their heads. I added a giant floating demon skull over to the skeleton side, and he's got a couple of enderman spawners. What's it do? I don't know. Just stay out of its way. Nothing good. And that's amethyst and blocks of glass to give the hovering effect and the breath of death. Okay, you'll notice that I've got a plan B, which is if there's too much on the other side, we blow up the portal and run away! So I got the Piglin Demolition team and a Piglin Wither team. Bunch of Piglins roll in a cart with almost completed withers, and the piglin on the back will hit some buttons which pushes pistons that pushes the final wither skull into the wither position, and then he will have whatever's on the other side will have 6 bedrock withers to deal with. Lots of chaos, lots of damage, and then that'll also make lots of room for flyers to come in afterwards. Okay, added a street sweeper, just a skeleton with a giant spinning saw blade. Why? I don't know, just felt like having. Gave the ghast their shooting melt just by putting in a block of redstone, and added a nether dragon. He's got his magical breath, and that comes from his magical belly. And I leaned into using diorite for bones because I wanted something that also had slabs and walls and stairs and different shapes. I didn't want just cubes, which is a restriction of bone blocks. It's just blocks, but I needed different shapes for building. And of course, it's no longer a piglin army, it's a nether army. Continuing on, we've got an army of brutes. And those brutes, their job is really to protect the administrative wagons. For the administrative side, I've got a wagon full of TNT and anvils, because you'll see later I've got a whole bunch of flying bats that are using TNT and anvils as weapons, and a portal, like an engineer portal reconstruction team, because well, it's all based on the nether portal. If something happens, we've got to be able to fix that. So. Okay, there's the reconstruction team. Nothing to see really, just a bunch of blocks of obsidian. Fire. Alright, gold golems. Why else do piglins have so much gold? And then a bunch of chariots that are loaded up with spawners. Again, these spawners are now mobile, so we can get them to the other side. And sure, they might turn into zombie piglins, but they're not that smart. Brutes. Each one's got a brute spawner and 2 piglin spawners, and the boss up front's got 2 saddlebags that are both brute spawners. Of course, he's riding a giant hog. The brutes just have access, so I tried to lean into that with the boss too. That's all he's got, is a big old hat. Beefed up the Air Force, and notice there's way more than 4 gas skulls now. And then my trump card is the Grim Reaper himself, Mr. Death. I think it's a bit unfair, because no matter what happens, he's going to win. He always wins. Both armies could be absolutely destroyed, and that guy wins. Plus, where like undead skeletons and dragons and everything else, where they come from? Like Mr. Death. So there we have it. We've got my piglin side, my skeleton side, big old boss in the middle, and the fiery nether itself coming at you. And the piglins also have a bunch of gold golems that help them out. These are my bat air forces. The pilots each have a fishing pole, because in Minecraft, if someone flew over you and fishing poled you, it would suck bad. And they're each hauling either dynamite or an anvil, and there's a giant wagon on the road. So they would go after whatever leadership's over there and just get rid of it, cause chaos, panic, or support whoever needed. So this was a lot of fun to build. And I'll put a link over to Chuck, and on Chuck's video you can see what he built and the final verdict of our guest judge, Mr. Rob Frost. Thanks for joining.